556 versus 300 Blackout. Which one will win on this episode of Ultimate Barrier Testing? The rules are simple. 4 targets, each worth 25 points, winner takes all. Whichever cartridge ends up with the most points at the end is the winner. If you've seen any of my previous testing videos involving the 300 Blackout, then you know it's a pretty subpar cartridge whenever it comes to hard targets, or at least I thought it was. Go ahead and check out my last video because the 300 Blackout really shocked me in it. But anyway, today we are going to be comparing it to the 556 to see how they compare on different barrier targets. In case you missed the last testing video, this is the Uni Sled. Short for universal because it is going to be holding a bunch of different barriers, and let me show you how it works real quick. Essentially, the barrier or the target's going to be sitting in this pocket right here, and then in this pocket there's going to be a 3/4 inch piece of plywood just to see what the bullet does if it were to go through the barrier. And don't worry, Steel Sled 4.1 is still going to be helping us out for this video. Before we do the testing, let's take a look at the first target real quick. And here it is. This is a 6x6 piece of pressure treated lumber, or at least they call it a 6x6. I'm pretty sure it's a 5.5 by 5.5. But anyway, we'll have to see how these cartridges do against this. Now, in order to keep it fair, we're going to be shooting in 2 different spots on this wood for each of the cartridges because the wood could have slightly different densities, so we got to make sure that we're keeping it fair. Well, the 556 is going to start us off, so let's get to it. Guys, I don't know about you, but I love the smell of that powder slapping me right in the face. Well, there are 2 pretty decent shots. They're definitely spread out on the wood. Oh, they both went through. Let's see what happened to the 3/4 inch piece of plywood. Okay, so one of those bullets, I guess, hit a knot or something in that lumber because it started yawing and it keyholed by the time it came out. The other one, though, it went straight through that 3/4 inch piece of plywood. Now it's time for the 300 Blackout, though. Well, now I got a magnified optic, so there's no excuses if I hit those same holes, although I'm pretty sure I could come up with some. Remember how I said I wasn't going to hit those previous 2 holes? Well, this one was good, but I may have overcompensated on this area. It actually hit this little sharpened post. Luckily, I sharpened it or else it could have been damaged pretty bad. But that one, yeah, that one definitely did not go through. As you could see, the bullet had already started splitting apart before it even hit the lumber. So, one more shot. That shot was right on the money. Now let's see what happened to the back. Okay, now we got some new holes. Let's see what happened to the 3/4 inch piece of plywood. I think that was the second one. That bullet started yawing and it actually keyholed into the 3/4 inch plate. And then a brand new hole over here as well. Pretty similar results to the 556. But wood, that's just our starting target. Let's get this out of here. Time to move on up, and doing that actually requires a little flipperoo. Our next target is this 8-inch thick box filled completely with sand. Guys, sand is super rough on bullets, so I don't know if either one of these has a chance of going through, but we'll have to go ahead and see. Let's get that 3/4 inch piece of plywood in there. All right, we're looking good. Such a tiny hole, I can barely even see that. Let's see what happened to the back, though. That's what really meant. Oh, whoa. Absolutely no penetration from that 556. Guys, I told you that sand is rough on these bullets. All right, we're ready for the 300 Blackout. Actually, let me shift that sand up a little in there just in case. Okay, now we're ready. Okay, pretty decent shot placement, kind of right by the 556. Let's see what happened. Oh my gosh. Guys, it actually came out the back. That is freaking nuts. I guess it didn't go straight through though. I mean, it came way out on this side of the box and I actually shot right on this side. So it didn't go straight through and it actually missed the 3/4 inch piece of plywood. Looks like there was some sand splatter on there though. Let's see if we can find the bullet anywhere. I can't oh, there it is. There it is. Okay, yeah, it definitely didn't have much kinetic energy coming out of that box, and it's still pretty warm, not too hot to touch, but you can see how rough the sand is on that bullet. That is crazy. Well, it definitely looks like we have a winner for round 2. All right, time for round 3. We just gotta flip this bad boy around. There we go. Well, let me straighten it up a little. Okay, now there we go. Just have to add these little wings on before I introduce the target. Oh shit. These are 2-inch thick concrete blocks, so needless to say, this should be pretty rough on the bullets. Let's see what happens. All right, we're looking good. Keep in mind that this is not reinforced concrete, it is just straight concrete. Well, that was a pretty cool reaction. The concrete basically went everywhere, but let's see what actually happened to the 3/4 inch piece of plywood. Basically nothing. That bullet probably got shredded apart, and you know, I don't even know if that's fragments of the bullet or if that's spalling from the concrete. I can't tell what that is. Needless to say, it did not go through though. Let's see what the 300 Blackout did though. Let's see what the 300 Blackout does though. Looking good. Now that one was pretty violent too. It threw that concrete everywhere. Now let's check out the 3/4 inch piece of plywood. I don't know what happened there. I guess the bullet kind of deviated from where I shot because it hit the bottom of the 3/4 inch piece of plywood, but it definitely did a lot more damage than the 5.56 did. There was definitely a larger piece going through. So I think we know the winner of this round as well. Our last, but definitely not least target is mild steel. This one is a 1/4 inch of mild steel, and I would say that the 300 Blackout doesn't have a good chance of going through, but you'd be surprised. Let's get after it though. I think that's about as tight as it'll get. Quarter inch for the 5.56. Piece of cake. It went straight through, and that's actually one of the coolest looking flowers I've seen with the 5.56 so far. Anyway, on to the 300 Blackout. Can the 300 Blackout do it again? I don't know. We'll have to see. I don't know. It's oh my gosh, that is a clean hole for the 300 Blackout. I don't know about you guys, but that specific round is kind of making me believe in the 300 Blackout again. How about 3/8 of an inch of mild steel? Is that a good next stop? Well, too bad, we're doing it anyway. Okay, that's about as tight as I'll get it. If either one of these cartridges have a chance of going through, it's gotta be the 5.56. There ain't no way out of that 16-inch barrel. Oh my gosh, I can see daylight through there. It definitely made it through 3/8 of an inch of mild steel. That is absolutely insane performance. That must be a really good bullet construction or something. Well, what about the 300 Blackout? Can it do that too? I wouldn't bet any money on it, but we can see. I got a sneak peek through the scope and it's not looking good for the 300 Blackout. Yep, my suspicions were correct. It landed right beside the 5.56 and it still did not go through, although it did a number on this piece of wood that I have down here. So that's pretty impressive, I guess. Still though, I think we know who the winner is for this round. Wait a second, if my math is correct, that means... Mr. Blackout, anything to say to your fans after your most recent win? Like and subscribe for more wins. Hey now, don't get too cocky. And remember, don't let ballistics drive you bananas.